I wasn't going to do anything about this UNLV quarterback story, but I read something on Facebook or one of the damn social media platforms a little bit ago, and I got triggered. So here we are. You know this story, or you should. UNLV quarterback Matthew Sluka has decided to take his red shirt and not play for UNLV anymore because they either promised him a bunch of money and then didn't deliver, or he walked into his coach's office after their apparently historic start where they're ranked for the first time in their history, they're undefeated, and said, I want more money or I'm not going to play. And now we've had this whole day or two of he said, she said stuff back and forth between UNLV's athletic department and the Sluka family, including the dad and the UNLV nil collective and, blah, 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 blah. Everybody's lived up to their obligations. Nobody lived up to their obligations. I got to tell you, I love this story. I do. I love it. I love it for reasons that's probably unique, and that I am watching people who are much, much younger than I am turn into the old man yelling at cloud version of themselves. And I really enjoy when that happens, because when you get old, you're always told that you hate change and you romanticize the past. And now I'm seeing social media comment and one after the other of college football is broke and I'm not going to watch anymore because they're not playing for the love of the game. And this is from younger people than me. I love it. I do. I don't think college football is broken. I think it's always been broken. It's always been a screwy sport. Since it started, you go back to 1902, the first Rose Bowl. Why did they have a Rose Bowl? Because they wanted people from cold places to come to Pasadena to watch football and spend their money. And that was our whole postseason for, 100 years? And then, we go from that. We're finally moving into a 12-team playoff. Do you know back in 1936, John Heisman proposed something like a playoff, a regional playoff? That's how long people have been talking about that. And it's finally here. But you still have all these people that college football be broken. You're not playing for the love of the game. Okay. There's two people in charge of college football right now. I've said this before, I'll say it again. TV executives and lawyers. And I see a lot of people talking about how they could resolve this stuff. They could just allow one transfer and they could put a cap on nil collective offerings and a cap on how much the players can make. And none of that shit makes any sense because none of it's legal. The NCAA isn't going to solve this, so maybe the Big Ten and the SEC could break away and they could solve it. Well, no, they can't, because it wouldn't be magically legal for them to do this either. Because this is the big problem, is nobody's following the law. And the sooner that we get to some resolution where athletes are probably deemed employees and can be paid directly by the athletic departments, which, by the way, are making shit tons of money, then the closer we're going to be probably to, something that everybody's going to hate or complain about, or the NFL light, but the closer we're going to be to resolving a lot of this stuff. Now, I think it was Clay Travis, that fear-mongering shithead, say something about there's only going to be a matter of time before some team decides not to play their playoff game unless they get paid more. Really? I don't think so. Because I think this thing with the Sluka guy is going to have a good outcome on college football, because the story is so big that everybody out there, either on the nil collective side that's giving the money or the player side that's taking the money, they're going to be all sure that they get this kind of stuff or any agreements in writing from now on, because now they know. Don't just take people's word. A handshake is not an agreement. It's just a handshake. And if you're one of those people that thought it meant something, good for you, but you don't live in reality. Now it's come out that a UNLV running back is transferring, taking his red shirt and transferring. And I think there's a USC defensive lineman that's decided to red shirt and transfer, and that guy's transferred 73,000 times already. Does this do anything? Does it really? These are outliers. These are not what's going on everywhere. And here's the other thing that's why this is good. And why this is good is because, there's going to be bad actors in all of this. right? There's going to be bad actors in terms of we promised you something and we didn't follow through on it. In other words, we said we'd have this money and then we promised it to you and then we had to go out and raise it. And oh my God, we can't raise it because the economy's bad or because that guy over there gambled all his money away in Las Vegas or something. Those types of bad actors, whether on the player side or on the nil collective or athletic department side, they will get worked out of this new system that we're going into. Been a lot of changes in college football over the past few years. Bad actors will work themselves out of this system by destroying their reputations. And then they're not going to be able to get the players and the teams together that they thought they would. You look at the future of college football right now, and I think it's brighter than it's ever been. I think it's about time the players got paid. I think they should have the same rights that you do in your job. If some guy, I think Robert Griffin III said something about he should have stayed and played for his teammates. Okay, if you believe his side of the story where they promised something and they didn't deliver, not even close apparently, that means you would be working for people that are a bunch of lying, stealing, cheating bastards. And well, you might have to do that in the NFL. You still got paid for it. But who wants to do that ever in their jobs unless they themselves are lying, stealing, cheating bastards? That's what I've found in my years of consulting. Those people tend to glom together. But I don't think you'd want to stick around that organization any longer than you have to. And that's just that side of the story. The same thing is on the other side of the story. If this kid's did actually walk in and say, I want more money to continue playing, well, then he's probably not going to get picked up by anybody else either. And these things are just going to work themselves out. Is it going to happen more and more? Of course it's going to happen more and more. There are thousands of players and there are hundreds of schools. So the point is to getting to a point where all of this is resolved. And I think it can be easily resolved by everybody realizing that no more verbal agreements, just get contracts and everything's going to be pretty much okay after that. Still bad actors because there always are. I would think that if you wanted really something to complain about in college football, about it being broken right now, I would say that you somewhere, somehow, with all this crap tons of money that's coming into the sport, somebody should be talking about putting together a national organization of officiating and stop having all of these officials tied to their conferences. Because that's the discrepancy you see, I think, in a lot of like targeting calls and a lot of calls between different teams when they're playing between different conferences. Why are the conferences in charge of officials now? That's just, I would think that if you had one single thing that you wanted to complain about college football being broken, that seems way more broken to me than anything else I can see right now. I'm interested in your comments. Let me know what you think. Is college football broken? Is it just beyond repair? You're never going to watch again. Yes, I'm making fun of you. I think it's better than ever. Let me know. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. John Johnston, Coordination. Go Big Red.